1. If the cash value of a permanent life policy equals the face amount, this is known as the policy's endowment. 2. Where must a producer in Washington display their license or licenses? In a conspicuous place in an area of the business that is customarily open to the public. 3. J buys a life insurance policy specifically intending for the death benefit to be used to cover estate taxes. What is the correct term for using life insurance in this way? Estate conservation. 4. A general report about an applicant that can include character references from neighbors or coworkers is known as investigative consumer report. 5. Concerning eligibility for a 403(b) retirement plan, which of the following would not qualify? School substitute teacher. 6. With a current assumption whole life policy, what can happen if the cash values increase too quickly? The policy could mature sooner than expected. 7. If an insured has a life paid up at 75 policy, what would the beneficiary receive if the insured died at age 68? The face amount. 8. An insurer issues a policy other than the policy originally applied for, requiring an additional premium of $100. When would an agreement come into being? When the applicant accepts policy delivery and pays the additional premium. 9. After the blackout period has ended, the widow or widower may receive a Social Security income benefit based on the PIA of the deceased spouse. 10. Whole life is also known as permanent protection. 11. A reserve is usually treated as an insurance company liability. Reserve. 12. F is the policy owner and insured of a life insurance policy. F names G as the primary beneficiary and Z as the contingent beneficiary. After G dies, F names M as the new primary beneficiary. Upon F's death, who receives policy proceeds? M, the new primary beneficiary. 13. An individual applying for life insurance desires a policy that offers savings and insurance protection, along with its guarantee. If this person intends to pay premiums only until age 65, after which the policy will be fully paid, what type of policy should they consider purchasing? Limited pay whole life to age 65. 14. All of the following signatures would be required on a life insurance application for an adult, except that of the beneficiary. 15. Death benefits are paid to the estate of the policy owner/insured in which of the following situations? The beneficiary is the estate. 16. When a distribution from an IRA is made from one qualified plan and payment is made to the trustee of an IRA or another plan, it is known as transfer. 17. What is the primary purpose of an annuity? To protect against outliving one's income. 18. J has an event that could be subject to a claim. This event occurs on April 1st of this year. How long does J have to bring legal action against the insurer? Until April 1st of next year, 12 months. 19. The period of time over which distributions of the accumulated balance are made to the annuitant is referred to as the annuitization period. 20. Which of the following types of reinsurance automatically accepts all new risks presented by the company seeking or requesting reinsurance from the reinsurer? Treaty reinsurance. 21. M. A producer in Washington diverted premium funds instead of accounting for them and paying them to the entitled person. This is considered as act of theft. 22. An individual owns a variable annuity. Upon annuitization, the number of annuity units on which the benefit amount is based will, from month to month, remain the same. 23. W and Y are annuitants of an annuity. W dies and Y receives half of the amount coming into their household when both were alive. They must have elected which settlement option? Joint and half survivor. 24. A feature of a variable life policy includes a death benefit that never falls below a guaranteed minimum. 25. Which of the following policies does not offer a guaranteed death benefit or guaranteed cash values? Variable universal life. 26. Universal life provides for an increasing death benefit only if the applicant chooses death benefit option B. 27. Which of the following organizations is licensed in one state and may insure members in other states that consist of a large number of similar units with similar risk exposures? Risk Retention Group. 28. J has a whole life insurance policy with a face amount of $100,000, an annual premium of $1,000, and a cash value of $10,000. If J wants to borrow money from the insurer, what is the maximum J can obtain? $10,000. 29. Which of the following is the proper sequence of beneficiaries? Primary, contingent, tertiary. 30. Group life insures a group of people under a single contract. 31. When reviewing an application, the underwriter decides to reclassify the risk. What does that mean for the client? The premium or decision may change to reflect a different risk class. 32. Which of the following statements about policy roles is correct? The insured and the policy owner are not necessarily the same person. 33. Insureds in Washington who accept a prohibited rebate of premium will be liable for a fine of up to $1,000. 34. All of the following life insurance policies have cash value that increases based on deposits by the insurer, except variable universal life, cash value tied to separate accounts. 35. Policy reserves are the net premiums paid plus interest earned and reflect potential insurance contract obligations. Reserves. 36. When an insured decides to change the mode of premium payment from monthly to annually, the total premium due would decrease. 37. Which of the following activities could be considered stranger/investor-originated life insurance? Changing the policy ownership and beneficiary designations for investor benefit. 38. How many days do licensees have to reply in writing to an inquiry of the insurance commissioner about their business? 30 days. 39. All of the following are considered specialized policies, except whole life. 40. The annuity benefit or payment option requiring the greatest amount of capital per $1,000 of benefit is life income joint and survivor 100%. 41. A consumer should know the following aspects of a group insurance policy, except that upon separating from the group life coverage is not convertible. This statement is incorrect. 42. All of the following are responsibilities of the producer, except only offering policies with the lowest possible premium. 43. Which of the following life insurance riders is a type of increasing term insurance? Cost of living rider. 44. Which of the following is considered a partial withdrawal from a life insurance policy? Partial surrender. 45. Which term life insurance policy would have the highest initial premium, all else being equal? 20-year term. 46. Which of the following will receive the smallest monthly income benefit check if an annuity is annuitized? A 50-year-old female. 47. Which of the following best describes a conditional contract? Both parties must perform specified duties for the contract to be enforceable. 48. All of the following statements regarding revocable beneficiaries are correct, except they have rights in the policy just like any other party to the contract. 49. All of the following are ways in which an annuity can be classified based on its premium funding method, except reinvestment. 50. Which type of life insurance rider pays out a capital sum in case an insured loses a limb or their eyesight? Accidental death and dismemberment rider. 51. Q has a traditional whole life policy with a $10,000 face amount, a $5,000 cash value, and a $4,999 policy loan and loan interest outstanding. Q will forfeit the policy when the policy loan reaches for failing to pay loan interest on a timely basis. $5,000. 52. In Washington, using a misleading policy comparison to induce an insured to convert any insurance is known as twisting. 53. A form that, when attached to a life insurance policy, can enhance or change policy benefits is called a rider. 54. Which type of risk involves gambling, such as placing a bet or playing at a casino? Speculative risk. 55. Which of the following statements regarding a producer's license in Washington is correct? A producer must hold a license in the line of authority they intend to sell. 56. According to a provision required for all life insurance policies issued in Washington, insureds may borrow up to the cash value of the policy after how many years of full premium payment? 3 years. 57. If the insured dies while the grace period is in effect, the death benefit paid is the face amount minus the premiums due. 58. Which of the following concerning non-contributory group life insurance is false? An employer pays 75% of the premium. 59. E purchased a life insurance policy and named their children as per capita beneficiaries. Upon E's death, the proceeds are paid to E's surviving children, who will share the proceeds equally. 60. Q, age 65, has a life insurance policy that is no longer needed and is unaffordable. Q needs cash. XYZ Incorporated purchased Q's policy for less than the face amount but more than the cash value and is now the policy owner and premium payer. Which of the following transactions was this? Life settlement. 61. Assignment in life insurance is the act of transferring all or part of the ownership in a life insurance policy. 62. In Washington, life insurance policies may be issued to associations following all of the following rules, except It has at least 25 members. 63. Which of the following statements about domestic mutual insurers in Washington is correct? Members of domestic mutual insurers may be paid dividends as a return of surplus. 64. Before taking an application for an annuity, it is important to determine the suitability of the product to the intended purchaser. 65. A consumer has an individual insurance policy issued in Washington. The insurer must acknowledge it received notice of a claim under the policy within how many days? 10 working days. 66. The insurer generally assumes the investment risk in all of the following annuities, except variable. 67. An insurance contract is an aleatory contract, meaning the values exchanged by the parties are of unequal value. 68. Which of the following statements regarding life insurance policy exclusions is correct? Aviation is excluded, except for fare-paying passengers on a commercial flight. 69. Life insurance policy illustration rules apply to which of the following policies issued in Washington? Traditional whole life. 70. The name of the beneficiary designation that will pay a deceased beneficiary's share to the heirs of that beneficiary who predeceases the insured is called persterpes. 71. All of the following are common exclusions included in life insurance policies, except driving. 72. The annuity settlement option selected can provide a temporary or lifetime payment. This is called settlement option. 73. The financial privacy rule requires insurers to provide consumers with a privacy notice at the time the consumer relationship is established and annually thereafter. 74. An insurer authorized to do business within this state is considered what type of insurer? Admitted insurer. 75. F. The owner of a life insurance policy chooses a settlement option whereby the proceeds of the policy will be paid out over 20 years. F has chosen fixed period. 76. What provision describes the parts of the life insurance contract? Entire contract. 77. Which of the following documents always constitute part of the entire life insurance contract? The application and the policy. 78. K. A producer in Washington has distributed information to their clients that is false and designed to injure another insurer. K is guilty of which unfair trade practice? Defamation of insurer. 79. The time limit to bring legal action against an insurer cannot be less than after the act occurs. 12 months. 80. S is a licensee in the state of Washington. All of the following acts would be a reason for S to lose their license, except accounting for and appropriately handling monies required to be held in a fiduciary capacity. 81. Insurable interest for life insurance is necessary only at the time of application. 82. A universal life policy has a death benefit of $125,000 and a cash accumulation value of $15,000. Generally, what will happen to the policy if there is a $5,000 partial withdrawal? The death benefit or cash accumulation will be reduced by the partial withdrawal. 83. All of the following are unfair trade practices in the insurance business in Washington, except fair discrimination on the basis of sex, marital status, or the presence of any sensory, mental, or physical handicap if substantiated by actuarial experience. 84. Licensees in Washington seeking to renew their licenses may only complete a continuing education course with the same course number once every how many years? 2 years. 85. A licensee improperly withheld premium amounts received in the course of doing insurance business. In addition to suspension, revocation, or non-renewal of a license, the commissioner may fine the licensee up to how much per offense? $1,000. 86. Which of the following is not an acceptable type of group life insurance plan in Washington? A group formed solely to purchase life insurance. 87. The Insurance Commissioner of Washington is elected to a term of how many years? For years. 88. Replacement rules protect the interests of consumers in Washington through all of the following, except guaranteeing the payment of claims in the event of insurer insolvency. 89. In order to obtain a non-resident producer license in Washington, non-residents must hold a resident license in their home state, and their state must offer non-resident licenses to Washington producers. This is known as reciprocity. 90. A licensee in the state of Washington has accepted several premium payments into their personal checking account. This is a violation of the separate account requirement, which comes with which penalty? Misdemeanor. 91. Insurers in Washington are subject to all of the following claim settlement practices when denying or terminating insurance, except insurers may retroactively cancel a policy to accommodate an insured. 92. When handling certificates of insurance in Washington, a person may do which of the following? Demand a certificate of insurance be issued to show evidence of the coverage provided by a policy. 93. How many days after the final resolution of the matter does an insurance producer have to report to the commissioner any administrative action taken against the producer in another jurisdiction? 30 days. 94. The commissioner finds that T, a producer in Washington, does not have a license for one of the lines of insurance they are selling. T may be issued any of the following penalties by the commissioner, except issue a sentence of imprisonment for up to 12 months. 95. Under group life policies issued in Washington, producers must provide certificates to each individual insured stating all of the following, except the duration of the policy. 96. In Washington, all of the following information is necessary to determine whether an annuity is a reasonably appropriate recommendation, except number of children. 97. Premiums or return premiums received by a producer or broker must be promptly accounted for and paid to the entitled insured, insurer, or producer because they are received in what capacity? Fiduciary. 98. In Washington, preserving the integrity of the business of insurance is the duty of which of the following? The insurer and insured. 99. The duties of a producer during the process of selling and replacing a life insurance policy include all of the following, except avoiding the sale of replacement policies. 100. T owns a life insurance policy and is concerned about both running out of money during their lifetime and at the same time leaving funds behind to the beneficiary. If T is looking for some time period guarantee, which settlement option should they consider? Life with period certain.